Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. It's our meeting edition of Workplace Channel Instagram Live. You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I hope your weekend has been good and not as busy as mine. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Hello. Yes, I can see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. All right. We just wait for more people. Hello. Very eventful, and the weather has been so good. Yeah, we go live. You're welcome, Bife. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How's today been for you? How's the weekend? How's your weekend been?
Oh, awesome. It's been great. It's been great. And
Good.
how has yours been?
Great, 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 great. I hope I could have more rest. I wish I have 4 more hours delay and then it's just 8 o'clock, so I'm just sleeping and lying down. However, we thank God for life. We thank God for life. You're
Absolutely.
welcome. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you for
welcome.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the privilege to host you on our Workplace channel tonight. And I'm sure that our audience
To be
are
fair,
ready. They're ready
yeah.
to get wisdom from our amiable confidence and speaker coach. And we know that
Wisdom
at the end of
counseling.
the
I have
you're welcome.
thank
I've
you for
seen you.
joining.
Oh yeah, I've seen wisdom counseling. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we're just going to dive right into the matter. I want you to, personally introduce yourself to our audience tonight. I want you to give them a taste of what we're going to have. So you go.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Buife Nome. And so let me pronounce that Buife Nome. Because a lot of people get it wrong. And I am a
Yeah,
confidence and presentation skills coach who helps
good.
forward-thinking personal brands like everyone that I know will be watching this, working professionals to
Mm,
speak, network, and lead with confidence. And I do what I do because I believe in the power of our voice. I believe so much that
absolutely.
each person's voice counts, and that if we can come out of our shell and have the confidence to share our ideas with the people around us, the people that we work with, the people that we do business with, we'll go a whole lot faster and farther, because when people's ideas come together, it's like having different ingredients for making a cake. Everything comes together to bring out something that will benefit everybody. But when
Awesome.
yeah, so I just love to help people break free from stage fright, shyness, and then give them the tools to communicate effectively so that when they do share the
Awesome.
idea, it will benefit
Awesome.
those who listen to them.
That's awesome. Very awesome. You're welcome. And our audience, if you're watching from anywhere, this is Bife Nome live, and you don't get to see her just like that anywhere, anyhow. So it's our privilege and a good opportunity tonight, which I know we are going to maximize. Now, we are going to dig right into it. As we all know before, Workplace Channel is an online platform. Our whole essence is to help starters and the young professionals to navigate the place of work. Basically, if you go to school, you are taught what has been done before. Is it Avogadro's law? If it's the law of demand and supply? Is it the law of price? Is it the law of whatever? And then at the end of the day, you're given what to think, you're given what to do based on past experiences. However, when you come out of school, very few things prepare you for the world of work. And there are many unspoken rules, many unwritten policies, many undiscernible culture in different places. Some of them are easy to pick, some you just generally have to pick up some of those wisdom on the way. And if you're lucky to have a workplace mentor, if you're lucky to be watching a program like this, you will be better prepared because preparation brings confidence. If you're not prepared, you stumble on many things and then you make a lot of assumptions. Sometimes you will get away with it, sometimes you win, sometimes you will learn. Because definitely, no matter what you call it, loss or a disadvantage, there is always a lesson in whatever it is that happens to us. So very quickly, we'll just dig right into it. Our topic today is effective communication in the workplace. So we talk about communication. We know that communication is like an umbrella or like a mother word, communication. We know that all animals can make sound, but only humans can speak meaningful words. But even when we say meaningful words, how meaningful words are depends on the recipient and the person that is listening to the words. So when we say communication is effective, what generally would you see? Or what do you expect to find, or the factors of an effective communication? Can you just let our audience have a feel of that?
Thank you so much. So the way that I describe effective communication is when the message that was passed was received by the person, by the listener, in the way that the sender intended for that message to be received. Let me back up. Let me back up and repeat that. When you pass across a message, because that is what we are doing in communication, we are sending message, we are passing across information so that the person on the other end can use that information to do something. Okay, just like we are here, you ask me a question and then I'm responding. When you were asking, your intention is that I would respond. But there is a way that you want me to respond. There is an information that you want to get from me so that your audience can benefit from that. Now, effective communication is when you ask that question so that when I hear it, I would understand it enough to answer the question in the way that you want me to answer that question. So,
absolutely.
Yes, effective communication, whether you are writing, you're speaking face to face or virtually, is communicating in a way that, one, your audience understands the message that you passed across. They have to understand it. And then two, they have to understand it enough to take action based on what you shared with them. So when those two primary things are present, we can say that you have communicated effectively because the person you spoke to understood and they did what you wanted them to do at the end of the day.
Awesome. Awesome. That's very important because it's amazing how people make assumptions, and if you're in the workplace, some of these assumptions can be very costly. Someone go prepare this report, it's urgent, and you say, oh, because I have 17 other things that are urgent, I go do it, and I will get next to this particular one at the end of the day. You may discover that if you do not understand the definition of that urgency, you will
Mhm.
probably just think urgency is I have 1 more week, or I have 2 more days. And it's not that capacity is the issue. You actually can do the work. You can write the reports. You can present the material. You can do the job. But because there is no effectiveness in the communication, it becomes a big deal. So I want us to see if there are many ways, that let's say workers can, glean further understanding. Because one of the inhibitors to effective communication is lack of confidence. Somebody has come to you and say, let's do it this way, that way. Then you go ahead with what you understand or understood. So when you do not have confidence, you would have a discount on your competence. So in what way can we build confidence? Either you're a woman, a man, maybe a young worker, and you have a boss who has demanded stuff of you. If you do not have a deep understanding of what was initially spoken to you or requested of you, what place does confidence play in the whole scenario of effective communication? Can you please throw more light on that?
Sure. So confidence plays a huge role, and it is not just with effective communication in the workplace, but just about just being a worker in the marketplace. Confidence plays a huge role. Why? Where the level of confidence you have in yourself will influence how you show up in the workplace. It
Absolutely.
will influence how you show up in the workplace, how assertive you are, how much you are willing to ask questions for clarification. So someone asks you to, oh, this is urgent, I want you to write this report. Do you just say yes, sir, and then you walk away from the person's office, or do you ask the person, when you say urgent, when is that? What would you want me to include in this report? What and what are you looking out for? How would you want me to put it? How would you want me to send it across to you? It takes confidence to air your views in an environment like that. So building that confidence in yourself is very, very important. I work with a lot of young graduates because I do train core members in camp. And you find out that a lot of times they have opinions, but they feel that their opinions don't matter because they are new in the marketplace. They are new in the job environment or in the job market. But you've got to know that whether you are new or you've been around for a while, your voice counts and your opinions count. So you have to ask questions. Now, how can you build the confidence? How can you? I can hear myself in the background. Do you have a second device?
I will fix that now. Second device will be out.
Okay.
Okay, please go ahead. Thanks.
All right. All right. So when to build that confidence, you have to ask yourself who you are. You have to ask yourself, who am I and who do I want to be as a working professional? What kind of image do I want to portray in this job? How do I want to be seen? How do I want to be known in this place? Do I want to be seen as a timid person or as a bold, courageous person? Do I want to be seen as someone who's behind the shadow, or do I want to be seen as someone who takes initiative? I'm starting from here because confidence needs a why in the background. It needs a why. You have to have something pushing you. When you have that thing that you are focused on building, it becomes easier for you to exude confidence in the workplace. It becomes easier for you to ask questions and ask for clarifications when things are said to you. It becomes easier for you to own your voice and make contributions. Let me give you an example. When sometime in the past, I used to be really, really shy, very, very timid, and and I would always like be afraid of speaking up, especially in the in a space or in an environment where I feel that the people there are more advanced than I am, they're more, maybe they are richer or they have a higher status than I do, I used to have struggles airing my opinions in such an environment. So I asked myself, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? When people talk about you, what are the qualities you want them to describe you with? What are the words you want them to describe you with? And I
Oh,
started writing.
yes.
One of the words I used was courageous/confident. So when I did that, the next thing I asked myself was, okay, so how do confident people act? How do they carry themselves? When they have an idea to share, what do they do? Do they clam up? Do they stay reclusive? Or do they open up their mouth and share what they have? And, I started working on that. So when I have an idea, during a meeting, I have an idea. And once the floor is open, I go first. I don't wait for you know, for the chance so that someone else will say something. I'll be like, oh, they have said what I want to say. No, I go first so that the other person can say, oh, she has said what I wanted to say. That is okay for you, but
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that. So when it comes to confidence, you have to have a why. You have to have a why. Why are you there? What do you want to be known for? When you determine your why, you now ask yourself, well, how do people like this act in the work environment? How do they speak? I worked with a client sometime in the past, and when she would talk back then before working with me, she would have her hand on her mouth as she's talking. When she's listening to you, her hands are off her face, but when she starts talking, she does this. So I noticed that I asked her, why do you do that? And she said, I don't even know that I do that. Now, what was happening was she was afraid of saying the wrong thing. So subconsciously, when she starts talking, she will put her hands over her mouth. Now, while we were building on her self-confidence, she had to intentionally learn to keep her hand away from her mouth. So when you find out how the person or the people that look like the person you want to become as a working professional act, how they behave, how they think, you have to now look at yourself and determine where you need to start
measure up.
Where you are at the moment and what you need to start taking away from your attitudes and your character and behavior, and what you need to start putting in there, what you need to start imbibing, the characteristics you need to start imbibing. Very, very important.
That's very good. I hear you so clearly. If I could summarize what you have said, you have just simply said your confidence is your personal responsibility. It's not something that will be dashed to you. It's not something that will be forced on you. It's not something that somebody will wish you have, or that you also sit down there and expect that it happens. It's your personal responsibility. And I know that this all has to do with mindset. So one of the things you would discover that would affect people's confidence is either what they've heard, either about the person, or about the job, or the impression that they have in the workplace. For example, some will say, let's just go and collect money. We have to work to survive.
Yeah.
So they've not actually sat down to define their workplace goals, as you have said it. Because what helped you in your journey, if I could summarize properly, is that you wanted to know what exactly your outlook would be. And then you were saying, okay, for me to get from here to here, what do I require? And that will always be needed for anybody who wants to scale up in the workplace. You will have to sit down and define, why am I working? And then where am I going? When I get there, how do I know? What do I require to get there? Who do I need to unhold me? So we really need to pick a lot of lessons along the way. You will not start by getting everything. But once the goals are clear and the vision are direct, it will be easy to put it one block after the other. I want to thank you so much for that. So what I think has happened also is that people do not also know, from your example of the lady who used to put her hand on her mouth, a lot of people are not self-aware about what their inhibitions are. The issues are right there in the mindset. For example, people may have backgrounds that speak to timidity. maybe from polygamous home, and then they didn't have a chance to ever speak up. They don't really have a chance to ever ask questions. If you live in some of the African homes where you have been warned not to look at an adult in the eye, so how dare you go to the office and go and ask your boss
Yeah.
exactly how many minutes is urgent, so, but when you get to the world of work, you actually always need to work
Need to
on
ask.
limiting beliefs, and you need to up your self-awareness. So I have thought that people will need to always take personal responsibility, attend webinars like this. Do you have more options or more examples or more suggestions for people to be able to do personal investment in their own confidence? Because without confidence, effective communication will not be in view at all. Because communication starts with asking the right questions.
True.
Asking the right questions. Either in email, someone has sent you an email and it's not clear. You need to be able to reply and say, please confirm that this is what you're saying. Because every time the information would go to the right or to the left, and then you appear, the person says, sorry, that's not what I meant. So there are many things that people can do. And one of them you have spoken, speak to a coach like you, and read books and all that. Are there other suggestions that you have for our audience tonight on how to intentionally build their confidence and become a bit more effective in the discharge of their duties at workplace?
So when I love that you mentioned reading books and all. When people read books, I often ask them to go a step further. Reading books are good. I mean, I have tons of books on how to speak in public. I'm a presentation skills coach, and it is part of my responsibility to update myself and learn techniques and ways that what people are doing out there to better myself. Now, but it doesn't stop with reading. A lot of people pack books and they read and read and read. They attend webinars, they attend seminars, they go to churches. I know there are so many churches that talk about these things and helping people to find their self-esteem in the word and what the word says about them. But the key to making progress is in taking action. Key to making progress is in taking action. When you read a book and there have been suggestions put down there by the author, before you go for the next book, take your time to look at what you have read. Look at the information that you have acquired. How can you start implementing this in your life at the moment? What do you need to start doing now? I mean, what I just shared with you, I wasn't born with that knowledge. I started reading and I got the information and I applied. So when we talk about building self-confidence, you've got to apply. You've got to put yourself in that place, in that scenario that you are afraid. So if you are afraid of asking questions, yes, like let me take you way back when about 5-6 years ago, I used to be very scared of putting out content on the internet. I would feel, okay, what if somebody reads it? What if there's a mistake in it? Did I put these things well? Is it as creative as the other people's content that are on the internet? You know what I started doing? Once I finished typing my content, are you still there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so once I finish typing my content, I'll press post.
Send.
Once I press that, I'll turn off my data and keep my phone somewhere, walk away from the phone. That way, that way my content is there. There is I would not entertain the thought of go and check. Is it getting likes? Is it getting positive comments? As someone put down the negative comment. So because the phone is very far away from me and the data is off, I'm not getting any notifications. I'm not picking up my phone to entertain those negative thoughts, because at the end of the day, those are thoughts. Yes. So if you know that this is something that you are afraid of, make it a point. Once I'm told something and I don't understand, I will say that, ask that question. And then whatever happens, but I will ask. When I teach presentation and marketing. I have this coaching program, Sales Confidence, for people who are afraid of asking for the sale and all that. There's something I tell people
Yeah.
to do. I tell them, never ever lose a sale because you didn't ask for it.
So
Ever
deep. That's
lose
very
a
deep.
sale because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask for it. Ask for
Mm.
it. If the person says no, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Mm-hmm.
you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Mm.
So
That's so good.
when you don't ask for clarification, you're going to remain confused. And at the end,
Absolutely.
put out a work that does not reflect the person that you want to be as a professional. So imagine
Mm.
write that report and your boss has to say, this is not what I wanted. I wanted it this way. I wanted it that way. Then you take it back and do it again. You come back. No, this is not it. Okay, you've done this, but I still want this way. What? Because you were not asking
You're
questions.
not asking
And
questions.
yes, at the
Absolutely.
end of the day, these things are rubbing off on your professional image.
Excellent.
It's rubbing
Excellent.
off on
Excellent.
your professional image. So don't do that. Then the other way that you can build self-confidence is by using affirmations, positive
Okay.
affirmations. And when I talk about positive affirmations, I'm not talking about positive thinking. I'm talking about positive
Mm.
speak, positive
Speaking.
speaking. Yes,
Oh,
because those
yes.
negative thoughts are right here in your mind. And when
Mm.
I teach people, and even in my book, the first step is find out what those negative thoughts are. Like you talked about being self-aware. You need to know what the thoughts
Yeah.
here are. You need to know what you're saying
Yeah.
to yourself. For some people, you may feel like, okay, because I'm still single, my voice is therefore limited. Because I earn this amount, I don't have a say in the circle where people who earn this amount are
Oh,
gathered.
true.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you have to ask, we have to find out what the thoughts here are.
Mm. Accurate
Excuse me.
diagnosis.
Yes, excuse me.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
All right. So our audience, it all starts with asking the right kind of questions. And if you're here joining us and you think all we are speaking about is we're talking to lawyers, accountants, IT, people who do 9 to 5, that's not always the case when we talk about workplace. Okay, you're back. I was just
Yes,
saying
so
that
sorry.
no problem. Our principles is applicable to every kind of work. Even if you're an entrepreneur, like she said, you can lose a sale by just not having the confidence to ask. Some people will do work excellently and then they can't even ask for money. When you ask, you have two options. It's either a yes or a no. But when you do not ask, you already give yourself the answer. So whatever you're doing, you will always have to put yourself out there. Whether you're working with laptops or you're working on your job or you're a tailor or you're a creative or whatever, it takes confidence to, achieve your results. Otherwise, you'll be leaving money on the table. And
Sure.
people who are less competent than you, they'll be taking the shine. Because then they will go and then with oratory and all manner, they speak a lot of things. And you, that you're doing all the work at the background, your promotion is keeping you. So there is so much around this thing called effective communication. As you have spoken before, it starts with asking the right question. Next, you must build your confidence. It is your personal responsibility. Now, what we are on the third note is how to invest in yourself. And we have spoken about reading books. We have spoken about positive affirmations. We've spoken about, going to seminars and webinars. And then we are so much, expatiated on action steps. Not enough to have latent knowledge about many things and then assume you understand it. Until you start to take steps, you don't own the benefits. So we welcome you back to the seat. You were speaking on affirmations, so you want to continue
Yeah.
from there.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry for that break in transmission. All right.
That's
So
good.
the positive the positive affirmations has to do with positive speaking. So when you understand, when you become aware of the negative thoughts here, you work on
Yeah.
those things. Now, I know that in this part of the country or in this part of the world, not even country, we tend to like to sweep things under the carpet.
Oh,
We
true.
tend to sweep things under the carpet.
It's
So when
cultural.
Yeah, when you feel there are some thoughts that people feel, oh, because I have these thoughts, I just need to switch over and start thinking the opposite of the thought. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. You mentioned something. People have to. You come from a culture where you're not encouraged to ask questions. Most of
Mm-hmm.
us, like, when we ask questions, we're asked to shut up. Like, or when or maybe your parents ask you for what you want, and then you say, I want A, then the next question is, why should you want A? Why should you want A?
Why are
So
you not grateful? You should just take what you have.
why don't you want B? So there, there are those things. Now you have to begin to break them down and get your mind and your subconscious mind to understand that those things are lies. Those things are ineffective. They are not helping who you are and who you want to become right now. So you need to work on those things. Now, when you have worked on those things and determined the root cause, the root reason why you have that negative thought. For instance,
Mm-hmm.
if someone says, I'm afraid of making a mistake, that is why I don't speak up during meetings, or I don't take up opportunities to present at work. My question would be, why are you afraid of making a mistake? Why is making
Yeah.
mistakes
Yeah.
bad? Why do you think it is bad? What does that mean to you? At the end of the day,
Okay.
as through those questions, you find out either of three things. Either the person has a negative perspective about him or herself, or
Mm-hmm.
he has a negative perspective about people, or they have a negative perspective about the world in general. So when we get to
Exactly.
that point, some people, they're afraid of making a mistake because they feel they are not good enough. So making the mistake
Mm.
is is is
It's a
is
consequence.
fulfilling. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fulfilling that I am not competent. It's like, I always
Yeah.
knew I wasn't competent, so let me not go and embarrass myself, kind of. Yeah, so when we get to that point, so instead of saying, I'm not going to make a mistake as the positive affirmation, because the person feels I am not competent, the person can now begin to look at what makes them competent. I am good at my job. I am good
Yeah.
at I am a very good marketer. I am a very good sales professional. I'm a very good customer service representative. My customers have said this to me in the past. This has happened. So your positive affirmations are what we call balanced. You're not just
Yeah.
getting them from out out of nowhere. You, there's
Mm-hmm.
substance. Your mind can hold on to that because you've given it proof. I've done this in the past. So
Oh,
that
yes.
that is very important. Yeah. And if you need some guidance with that, there is
Yeah.
a there's a link on my
Bio.
bio.
All right.
Yes, for a free affirmations for speaking with confidence. So if you struggle with
Okay.
stage fright and you'd love to get some of the ideas of affirmations you can use, go to the link on my bio to get a free copy of that. Okay. And
All
if
right.
you want,
All right. That's so magnanimous of you.
yeah, yeah,
Thinking about these affirmations things, people also don't do it properly. Like one some time ago, I had to listen up for on one of the programs where the speaker was trying to correct how people do affirmation, and then we're trying to be taught how the mind picks words. That instead of saying "I am not shy," "I am not shy," he said your mind does not see the knot; it takes it away, and it continues to reinforce that you're shy. But what you should
mhm,
use is actually positive, the real thing. Like
then
say, "I am visible." I'm strong, I am bold, I am fearless. Not to say
yeah,
I am not shy or I am not, so there is a right way and a wrong way of doing this affirmation. So I would want to encourage everyone listening to us, and those who watch this video later, please go straight away to Buife's bio and they get this free download on affirmation. And taking on the thing you just spoke about, these affirmations and the fact that people, when they discover that they have deficiency in one area or the other, what I hear is that we have to be true to ourselves. You must have self, you must be true to yourself. To thyself be true, as we always say it. If you don't know what is A, you can't assume, because your assumption does not give you the object of the matter. For example, there are many people who have not done personal assessment before. They haven't understood where they are lacking. And when you don't know where you lack, you cannot fill it up. You get what I'm trying to say? So for you to be able to say, I want to affirm, have you agreed that you are timid? Have you agreed that you are shy? Have you agreed that you are easily intimidated? And one of the ways to do that is to do a soul search. People listen to many people, but they don't listen to themselves. A lot of people don't create time for themselves. If they're not on Facebook, WhatsApp, their church message, on the office work, their mind is crowded. They have not sat down to say, oh, Deborah, I want to talk to you. And there's this 5 why technique that I have always used, and it's always there, Why are you not, for example, promoted? Don't start blaming anybody. Start asking, because of this. Okay, why was that? Because of that. Why did they choose this person above you? Because it's a boy. Okay, as a boy, why have they chosen to, so a boy that is always speaking up, and you that you're always hiding behind the corner of the table, you've got to be visible. And this is what we call effective communication. It's not just what you're saying, your posture, your body language. How do you show up in a meeting? When people are shy, timid, or afraid, it's written all over. That your body starts to secrete some hormones that announce and advertises you to the world that this is a fearful person sitting here. And when they are talking to you, you have lost concentration. You are even praying, they don't call your name. So some people are even praying, they don't call their name. I just want to do my work and leave it. No, you can't do your work and leave it, because somebody will take your work and take your shine. That's just all it is. So you got to always understand that every time you don't communicate effectively or showcase your results, however you have done it, and you want to fear or be afraid of failure, what will people say? You are telling yourself lies. What you think is not good enough is exactly what somebody's waiting to learn how to do. So many people, they go into the workplace expecting to be perfect the first day. No, you will always need to learn. And if you don't make the first mistakes, you will not have opportunity to correct it.
Sure.
So don't be afraid of failure or mistake. Fail and fail very fast so that you fail enough to master the act. So talking about the fear of failure, what are the techniques available for people to overcome the inner voices that says you can't do it? We've heard about affirmations. What else can you do? Can you hold yourself accountable with an accountability partner? Can you can you find yourself in a committee of people who are bold? Sometimes when this is your weakness and you have diagnosed it, you will do yourself good to stay in the company of those who are strong on where you're weak. Can you speak to that, please?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love talking about it, actually. When people say, I'm afraid of failing, I'm afraid of not getting it right and all that, I'm like, whoo, there's nobody that is not afraid of failing. Absolutely nobody. But here's the thing with that fear of failure is that we are often afraid of failing at things that we have never done before. Or
Yes.
things that we did for the first or second or third time and it did not work out for those first, second or third time. But here's the thing, when you think about that, you know that for you to overcome that fear of failing, you actually have to go ahead and do it.
Again.
Go ahead and do it. Yes, there is the place of assessing why you are afraid. I often have to start from there. Why do you think you're going to fail? What are the things you're saying to yourself about that? So when you come off, think, okay, I haven't done this thing before. Well, what are the things that you need to know to be able to do it the first time? Do you have those skills? Do you have those prerequisites? If you have them, go ahead and do that. If you don't have those prerequisites, then go and get them. Go and
exactly.
get those things you feel, oh, I need this thing. Now, talking to someone is important as well, because sometimes you say, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Like some people in business will say, I need money to do this. I mean, there was a time where I felt like, oh, I need capital, I need capital, I need capital. Until I attended a business course, a 12-week business course, and from everything we learned during that course, I realized that money was my least problem. The least.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Release. So I now
Yeah.
started implementing those things that they told me. I started getting results. So if those things, sometimes those things you feel, these are the things that I need to have to start doing this. You may not really need it as much as you think you do. So you have to talk to someone who has walked the walk and tell them,
Correct.
I need to do this. I want to do this, but these are the areas that I'm lacking in, and I feel that I
Mm,
need to have this. So,
mm.
yes, accountability partners, yes, mentors. I belong to a mastermind group, and I would encourage everyone here to join one. Find a group of like minded people. Like in
Oh,
my
yes.
mastermind, when you hear this person is doing this person is doing that, this person is doing this, you ask yourself, okay, okay, okay. What was your
Where's my own
excuse
space?
again? What was your excuse again? And you see that they are achieving the things you want to achieve with the
Yes.
resources that you have, but feel are insufficient. So
Cool.
your excuses are just pulled down from the root. The second thing that a mastermind or accountability partner does for you is that they help you. They help you by giving you ideas on how you can actually go about it. I mean, my mastermind members, they often tell, okay, this is what you can do. Like someone can call you up. Okay, you said last month that this is the goal you set
You
month.
are writing a
How is
book.
it
Where is
going?
it?
Yeah, how is it going? What have you done? Where are you? How you'll be forced to talk to someone, and they
Mm-hmm.
also help you out.
That's
The,
true.
the, the energy in the mastermind is we all have to win. So find a mastermind of people. But remember what we talked about at the beginning, you have to have your goal, your why, because that why
Yes.
will help you connect with the right people. Okay. Then
Absolutely.
go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is confidence is elevated when competence is present.
Mm.
The
I
more
hear you.
competent you are at something, the more confident you are at
You
doing that
build.
thing. Yes. So
Absolutely.
think, think about this. When people say that they are not confident, there are things that they do without even thinking about it. There are things that
Yeah.
they don't give much thought to it. They go ahead and do it and they succeed. Why? Because they are so good at it, they don't see
Mm.
themselves, they don't see a possibility of failing.
Correct. It's just
So
like
if you
someone who knows
want,
how to cook. You just
yeah,
cook without thinking about cooking.
they even test people, they know it's going to come
You know
out
it's good.
good, you know.
Correct. Correct.
So
And it
go
comes to
ahead.
constant practice, actually.
Yes, do it and do
Mm.
it and do it and do it and do it and do it. And if you don't even have the opportunity right now to start doing that thing, create it. Create it. When
Yes.
I knew that I wanted to be a speaker and a trainer, I started looking for opportunities to speak. Then looking
Mm.
for I was working then at a company that hosted training. So I started looking for what part of this training, what curriculum do I know really well that and would I want to teach. And I started inserting myself until I found myself as one of the facilitators. So
Wow.
create your opportunities. Create your
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. Yes, go
Mm.
ahead and do that. Speak at home. I would drag my brother back there, sit him in front of and interview him.
And
And
then
I'll
and
interview him. Yeah, and this is me now. Like I'm on an interview. I host my interview
unplugged.
session on Thursday.
Un-
Yeah,
unplugged.
so
Unplugged.
create
Not looking
opportunity.
at any book.
Yeah. Oh
That's so
gosh.
good. Before I let you go, Buife, we really dealt right into so many issues. If I can summarize where we started from communication. You should have a workplace goal. Where do you want to be? How do you see yourself? How do you want to be described? A confident person, somebody who knows his onions, somebody who wants to do the right thing. Then you start by asking the right questions. How do I get there? What do I currently have? And what do I need to add to my knowledge and skill? Next, we spoke about affirmations. You need to constantly speak to yourself to disturb or to reverse the self-limiting beliefs that have told you are not good. Whatever it is your belief is, if it's fair, you have to constantly tell yourself, I am bold, I am courageous. And Buife has magnanimously offered to, offer us resources that can help us in affirmation. So before I let you go, next we have spoken about Mastermind Group and being in an accountability group. I know that also one of the ways to be effective in communication at workplace is also sometimes you may need to speak to a coach. This whole issue of coach, some people don't even understand it, or some believe that, oh, they just want to collect your money. What do they want to say? Coaches are trained people who understand the psychology of how the mind works. And if you speak to a very good coach, they will help you see the results that are inside. They will also help you to unravel the issues that got you to where you are by asking you questions that they will ask you, and you'll be able to dig back. Perhaps it's something that happened when you were small, that you fell down from a balcony and then you have been afraid. So people should, feel free, and they should have positive approach and perception about coaches. Speak to a coach who can help you raise your self-awareness, who can bring you out of where you are. Anybody who falls down will be unable to get up by himself without a force or a help and assistance from somebody who is on top. So the coaches are not omnipotent, but because they are playing your reality to you, it helps you to there's remote working, people are working online and all that. So if you are supposed to make a presentation online and you don't see your audience physically, eye to eye contact, how do you hold the concentration of your audience in a very effective and a very prominent way that they don't get bored completely? Can we just discuss that for a few minutes before we sign off from this program? It's been an awesome program.
Awesome. So thank you so much for the question. When we talk about virtual presentations, one of my favorite things to talk about again. So when you are speaking to an audience that you cannot see in the place, in the room, the first thing that I want you to think about is to know that there are people on the other side who are watching you. You have to know that. Yes, you have to know that there are people on the other side who are watching you, because you can start thinking, oh, are they really paying attention? Are they listening? Are they doing this? And that can make you to lose your confidence. And of course, when you lose your confidence, it's difficult for you to get somebody else to trust in you where they feel like you don't trust in yourself. So you have to have that confidence. Then the other thing that I would share is, when you are speaking to an audience online, depends on the platform and the reason why you are speaking. You try to engage them, like asking them questions.
Yeah.
Yes, asking them questions, asking them to make contributions and all that. And if you have a slide, you can have something to just ask them. If this has ever happened to you, let me know in the comments. Put up an emoji there. If this has ever happened to you, type yes in the comments, stuff like that. Then the other thing is maintain contact with your audience as well, and it's really simple. You can't see them right there because they're not there in the room with you, but you can speak to your lens instead of looking on the screen. So when you're speaking, instead of looking on the screen, look into your lens, because then the people who are watching you will feel like you're looking them in the eye. And with eye contact, connection is built. With eye contact, connection is built. Now, the most important thing to do to keep your audience engaged is to make sure that you are solving their problem. You are telling them things that are of interest to them. So when it comes to presentation, the audience is the principal thing. It is not you. It is not how much knowledge you have. It is not your degree, your PhD, and all those. It is, what does the audience care about? Are you talking about those things? If you're talking about what I care about, I'm going to pay attention.
Exactly.
So make sure you're talking about what they care about. So if you are a coach, you want to ask, find out from them, what do you want? I'm hosting this thing. What would you like me to talk about? Go to
Mm-hmm.
people, ask them. If it is a workplace meeting, ask the people that you work with or the people you're making the presentation to. What are the
Yeah.
key things you want us to
You want me to
discuss
touch?
during this? Yes, during this meeting. You want to talk
Yeah.
about, if you want to start talking about things that they are not interested in, or that things they feel doesn't really concern them or they don't care about, they're definitely
Yeah.
going to tune, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure those are
That's
present.
that's 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 so good. I hear you clearly. And John Maxwell said something. He said
Yeah,
everyone communicates, but few connect. So connection is an advanced stage of communication. So to connect with your audience, you have to wear your audience's shoes. You don't want to say what you are interested in. You want to say what they are willing to listen to. And that's so profound. You have really hit the nail right on the head. I wish we could be here 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, because communication is a topic that cannot go away, can be expire.
yeah,
It cannot be
yeah.
over described. We've not even scratched the surface. There are
Now,
dimensions to communication. There are dimensions to communication. But I know that with these few interactions tonight, we will have been able to answer a few questions. So we'll be happy to see your chats. We'll be happy to see your comments. We'll be happy to receive your feedback on this Instagram live. Whilst we're thanking our audiences for staying through with us up until this point, do you have a final word?
okay.
Or
So my final word would be what you were talking about, getting a coach. Now, there's something about having a coach and paying for that special investment. When you pay for
mm-hmm,
that special investment, you're saying to yourself, I deserve the result that I'm going to get from this coaching experience. I deserve
correct.
it, right? And when,
Yeah.
when you can train your mind to know that you deserve the success that you are aiming for, it just begins to attract the things that you need to get there. And I mentioned the client that I had in the past that would put her hand here. She was not aware of it, and there's no way that she would have become aware of that. Why? Because she does not have the information. If you don't have the
Good.
information, you cannot know what you're doing right or wrong. But the coach,
Mm-hmm.
because it's an area that they have invested time, money,
Yeah.
studying and learning and researching
Mm-hmm.
on this, they know it very well. So when they meet you, when they see you, they will observe those things immediately and help you begin to work on them. So get a
A
coach. All right.
coach. And I repeat again, get a coach. So you are speaking, you are watching coaches discussing right now. So please
Yeah,
do yourself that favor, get a coach, and because your result is yours. Your work describes you. And by the
true.
time you are through, you would be happy for it. You will like to navigate. The thing it's there are two ways to learn. You either learn the hard way or you learn the simple way. There are
Mhm.
4 ways to get to the fourth story of a building. That go through a lift. You can climb the staircase. You can climb a ladder. You can do anything. But all of us know that the cheapest and the simplest way to get there is to go through a lift. So sometimes when you get a coach, they might give you a result of 20, 40 years fast forward. The things you will have learned and failed in. You find somebody bring the mirror to you, and then you see yourself right there in the
Yeah.
face. Buyife, I can't thank you enough. I don't have
So
words to describe so much amazing gems that you've dropped for our audiences tonight. And I'm sure we're going to bring you back very soon. We thank you for this, your time. It's really worth
thank you.
every second. And we
Thank
want to wish
you.
you a wonderful week. And keep shining the lights, keep doing what you're
You
doing, keep
too.
flagging the
You
flag,
too.
and
Let
keep
me just
helping
quickly
us.
mention. Let me
Go
quickly mention,
ahead.
if you don't mind. They can also get a copy of my book, Your Complete
Yeah,
Guide to Stage Fright for Good. If that is
yeah,
something you want to work on stage fright, I have a copy on my bio as well. Thank you
that's
so
good.
much, Deborah, for
You
having
are
me.
welcome. You are
I had a
welcome.
great time. I had a great
You
time.
too. Wow. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Have a great day.
everyone. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.